In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Xbox controller and what settings I use when I'm on Xbox. The whole reason why I have an Xbox to begin with is because I do a lot of account boosting and I get a lot of people from Xbox that want pred badges over here. It's easier to get over here, so it's cheaper. If anybody's interested at all in some boosting, some rank boosting, badge boosting, whatever you guys want, I do just about everything. It's not free. It doesn't cost that much, but it's definitely not free. You guys can hit me up on my personal Discord. You guys just have to add me or message me on there, or tweet me or send me an email through my business email. All that stuff is in the link in the description and on the screen right now. But yeah, literally the only reason I have an Xbox is so I can do a lot of account boosting. So I do have my own settings on Xbox that are a little different, and my controller is obviously completely different to what I use on my PlayStation. So I'm going to talk about that real quick in this video, and I'm going to go through my settings and what settings my controller has. For those of you that are wondering, I use a Gamester G7 SE controller. It's about 40 bucks, something like that on Amazon. Pretty cheap controller. It feels pretty good though to me. It comes with integrated paddles in the back. It only comes with 2 paddles. I'm not sponsored by them this video. I have done a partnership or a sponsorship with them in the past. I did one video with them, but this video right now is not sponsored by them in any way. So just so you guys know that I actually genuinely do like this controller, and it actually feels quite nice. I know some people have some feelings about it, that it feels cheap and all that, but for 40 bucks, I genuinely don't think you can get any better for what you get, especially with the kind of customization that you can do to the controller, not to itself, but what kind of settings you can do with it, because it even comes with its own settings on the Xbox itself. It's a whole app, which I'll be showing you guys what my settings are for that. All that being said, let's get straight into the settings. Starting off with the gameplay tag, we got this on compact, button hints off, crosshair damage is X with shield icon, damage numbers on stacking, enemy health bar is enabled, ping opacity on faded, enemy highlights enabled, obituary is on, minimap rotation is on, weapons auto cycle on empty is on, always sprint is on. Sprint control, I have this on press, it just gets grayed out anyway. Auto run is off. Jetpack light control is on hold. Incoming damage feedback on 3D. Taking damage, closed death box is off. Health and pop-ups are off. Health and ammo voice lines, I have those off. The arsenal map and HUD is on max. Off-screen portraits and hop-up pop-up is off. Streamer mode and anonymous mode is completely up to you guys. I just like to have it on. Don't know what this means. Performance display is on. Communication filters on everybody, whatever that matters. I have this tutorial system thing off. Reticle, same green color as all my other videos as always. If you guys want to copy the exact numbers, let me take this off for you guys. You guys can see that right there, 50, 255, and 1. If you guys want to copy the exact thing, but it's just a green color. Laser sight, same as reticle. Colorblind mode and all this is on default. Controller button layout, you guys can see I'm using the Xbox controller. I have it on button puncher as always. The paddles on the back of this controller, the left one is jump, right one crouch. Stick layout on default, interact reload buttons tap to use, crouch button is hold, aim button hold. Survival slot is on, trigger dead zones on none. This is the menu cursor speed if you guys want to copy that. Look sensitivity is on 4, ADS on 3, per optics are all on default. Response curve on linear. This is the only real big difference when it comes to the actual Apex settings that I have. When it comes to using this Xbox controller and all of my PlayStation controllers, is I go from small to none on Xbox, and it feels really good on this controller. The controller I'm using right now has Hall effect sticks, which basically negates stick drift, I guess. I'm not too sure about it. I always mention that I don't really know much about the Hall effect stuff, but I just know that I don't have stick drift on this controller, and I've had it for a little bit now. But yeah, so that's why I have it on none look dead zone, because all of my PlayStation controllers are not Hall effect sticks or anything, so I always get stick drift, so I always put it on small. But now I'm on this controller on Xbox, put it on none. Movement dead zone on small, inverted look off, vibration off. ALCs are all on default. I touched a little bit on the subject about bleed throughs on ALCs for controller settings, and like I said, I still don't really know much about them. I haven't done like much research. I've seen a lot of people are usually always using like a variation of 4-1 linear with per optics, something. I really don't know. I haven't tried anything yet, just because I don't want to put myself through a sense crisis, all for the sake of like me basically putting it back to 4-3 linear. So I just have this all on default right now, and then I just turn these off. Now, before we get into the rest of the settings, I do want to show you guys the Gamester Nexus app on here on Xbox. Basically, this is where you can also customize your settings on here. It has its own profiles. As you guys can see, I have a profile that says Apex, and on the bottom right there, hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of blurry on my end. It says, please use the PC to switch the report rate to 250 Hertz. So right now, what I did was got on my PC, downloaded the Gamester Nexus app on my PC through Microsoft Store or whatever I did. I switched the polling rate on my controller to 1000 Hertz, which basically gives me the fastest input that the controller can do. I'm not sure if I'm coping when I say that it feels actually really fast on console too, but I did that day one. Like as soon as I got this controller, I overclocked it. It's basically overclocking the controller, and then I plugged it back into my Xbox and it feels pretty good. I'm not really sure if that actually works at all. I know it works for sure if you're playing on PC. I've tried this controller on PC also with the 1000 Hertz polling rate. It feels really good. There's like no input delay at all. If you guys have seen any of my streams, I've done a recent solo to master stream on PC, and I was using this very same Xbox controller. I was talking a little bit about it and how it feels really crispy, but on console it feels a little still delayed, but that's just because it's console. You're not playing at the frame rates and everything like that. So you could actually overclock this controller. That's why it says that down there. And that's what I have the controller on right now. Even on Xbox, I have it on 1000 Hertz polling rate. Now, the way that you can overclock your controller is, it's pretty simple. You just got to plug it in, download the app, and just go from there. You can literally just click on 1000. That's what it'll allow you to do on PC. If you guys want to see any more in-depth videos like that, I'm pretty sure there's very simple tutorials that are already available on YouTube. Definitely recommend checking those out. But for now, we're just going to stick to the console stuff. So if we go to configure, you guys can see that you can map your buttons and all that. Like I said, my left paddle is already on jump and my right paddle is already on crouch. So that's what that is. The rest of the stuff I didn't mess with at all. If you're on PlayStation, basically this is the equivalent of the PS5 DualSense Edge, like little application that comes with the controller also, that you can do all this stuff. Basically this is like the equivalent. So moving on from mappings, we got the sticks right here. This is the only other thing that I changed on this Xbox controller currently. The left stick range, you guys can see I have it on 0. You guys can move this thing around like that. I just leave it on 0. For the right stick, you guys can see I have it on 4. Once again, you can move this whole thing around. I just have it on 4. It feels really good. I used to have this on 5 or 6 when I first started, and I just moved it down to 4, and then I tried out 3 and 2, and I thought that was a little too crazy. So I think 4 is like a happy medium spot for me. A lot of people like to put these raw modes on. I've asked a lot of people that use the Gamester controller, and they've basically all said that the raw mode gives you a sort of input delay on your sticks, like a slight one, but they can feel it. This might be just cope. I don't know. I've tried the raw mode, and just like knowing that people are saying that to me, I think affected my judgment. This is a real thing, guys. Sense crisis and all these kind of coping crisis about controllers is real. I just do not like to put myself in that kind of position, because like it makes me feel like I'm coping every single time. I feel like I'm going insane. So I just turn these off. I don't know. If anybody that uses the Gamester controller and plays Apex religiously, if you guys have it on raw mode, let me know how you guys feel about that. I feel like it does, just because I've heard other people say it does. Moving on to triggers, we got left trigger range, I have it on 5, and the right trigger range, I have it on 5 as well. I'm not sure if this is the maximum like sensitivity you can put it on. Maybe I can mess around with this and also put it on like 0, maybe see how that feels. But for now, I just have both of these on 5. Moving on from trigger, we got vibration. This is all off for me on vibration. I don't play with vibration on at all. So those of you freaks that like vibration, I guess you can mess around with this too, but I just have it off completely on Apex, so I just didn't even touch these at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the Gamester setting itself. As you guys can see, it's very simple. It's just like the PS5 DualSense Edge controller settings that you guys can also do. Fairly more simple, especially when it comes down to the stick settings itself. I'm pretty sure the PS5 DualSense Edge controller settings have the type of dead zones that you can put it on. This doesn't. It's just a very simple like raw mode, like a simplified version of it. But I really do like this controller, honestly. And for 40 bucks, pretty good deal. I like it. Like I said, not a sponsored video, but I have run a couple of partnerships with them before. I just truly really like this controller. Moving on to video, we got brightness right here, field of view on 110, FOV ability scaling's on disabled, sprint view shake on minimal, graphics mode, performance mode. Always, I've mentioned this in the past video, if you guys don't have a monitor that supports performance mode, I definitely recommend getting one of those. It's probably going to make a huge difference in your gameplay, especially if you're really serious about Apex and want to get into it a lot more. I recommend getting a monitor that supports performance mode. All this stuff really doesn't matter, but I do like to mess around with these settings right here. Dialogue volume on 80, music volume and lobby music volume on 0, and the gameplay volume when spectating, I have it on 70. That doesn't really matter. It's up to you guys. And that's going to be it for my settings. Like I said, I do a lot of boosting on Xbox and PlayStation alike. I also do some boosting on PC, from rank boosting to the simple 20 bombs 4K boosting. If you guys are interested in anything like that, let me know. Add me on Discord, hit me up on Twitter, or like I said, even my business email is open to you guys as well. You guys can just hit me up anywhere, basically. All that information's on the screen and in the links in the description. If this video ended up helping you guys out with your settings, drop a like on the video, drop a comment. It really helps me out in the algorithm. Appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.